Warning, this podcast contains roadkill.
Good evening and welcome to Big... Oh, yes. Sorry about that. Good evening and welcome to Big Brother, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Big Brother, BB18 hashtag. I am your host for this evening of Big Brother, Luke Labagnera, at Zupa23, which is my Twitter. And with me, welcome back, my fellow Big Brother historians, Dom and Danny.
How's it going?
Welcome back, guys. So, before I put you guys in the hot seat, I will give the opening dialogue of what the announcer usually says so we can get it in the game here. Previously on Big Brother, Nicole was crowned the first HOH, but first, actually, I'm sorry. The final, what was the name of her team again, Nicole's team?
Team Freakazoids.
The Freakazoids, or the Freakazoids, as you say, battled it out in the final Hit the Road Challenge, which was the island competition where it was another endurance where they had the SOSs, and they had to gather their coconuts from the trees and place them into the SOSs without dropping them. And if they dropped into the water, that would be a losing, and they couldn't reuse those. They had to keep gathering more. So,
the final competition was crazy. It was crazy. What do you guys think would be a better strategy? Do you think it would be better to put them out further or better to put them closer to start?
Can't really say. Danny?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to this stuff.
Oh, you weren't paying attention to the competition?
No, I wasn't on this episode.
Oh, okay. Well, basically what happened was it was another endurance in the final battle for the Hit the Road competition where somebody is going to be evicted if they don't complete the last task. So in other words, the Freakazoids were competing against each other. I believe it was Nicole to grab her first flag without dropping any of her coconuts, and she was safe.
Mm-hmm.
The next one was, who came after her? It was, who was it? Was it, do you remember who the next one was to grab her flag and be safe? I believe it was another girl.
Tiffany.
Tiffany was the second, and it was the battle between Corey and Glenn. Mm-hmm. So between Glenn and Corey, they thought it was a tie, but it was a photo finish. So the first person to be evicted from the Big Brother house in the losing challenge of the Hit the Road Challenge was Glenn. You are the first to be evicted from the Big Brother house. And yeah. I'm sad. I wanted to see him stay longer because that was the first time I've ever seen the oldest house guest leave the game early.
Yeah, for me, I feel like the house should be a little more mixed and have younger and older people in it. I've always thought that. But
me too.
They want to go with the younger, more attractive crowd to throw them up on TV instead of, getting some of the wily old characters. But I mean, I guess some of it too is health. You got to make sure they're in good health or, able to compete and stuff like that, because you can't put like a 90-year-old man in the house because he's not going to be able to do the competitions.
No, but you have to admit, Jerry McDonald from season 10, he was in pretty good shape and he was in the army.
Well, yeah.
One thing I want to bring further into a recap, because this is a recap podcast we're doing in the beginning part. So amongst them, the Freakazoids have decided that Nicole would be the first HOH of the summer. So with that, within her reign as HOH, Nicole has nominated both Paulie and Jose for eviction this week. Basically, she put Paulie up as a pawn because I think the main target this week is Jose. So after that, without even notice or without expecting it, as you know in the Big Brother house, expect the unexpected. That's their motto. I'm sorry, I can't even talk tonight. Um, the house guests were surprised with another blindsided twist, which was the BB Roadkill, where the house guests have to battle it out, and the winning person of this competition gets to nominate a third house guest for eviction. In the end of this competition, it was Frank to win the first ever BB Roadkill competition, and he has anonymously decided not to tell that he won, except until back into the house where he let some of the veterans in on it.
Yeah, kind of let
And
his team know on it. What'd you guys think
he
of
let
that competition?
Danny?
I liked that competition. It was like a dexterity competition. Yeah, you could just say, "Fuck it," and just rip your clothes off as soon as you can. But it's like, at 120 times, or you can try to play with it and try to hold all your buttons down and see, how twisted into a pretzel you can get.
I personally feel like I would put, like, I don't know. It'd be hard to say. I would put my head on the lever that was to the right of them, and I'd put my feet on the other two buttons, and I would literally just Hulk Hogan my clothes. I would just rip them in half. I don't know if that's legal, but I would do it.
That would be a sight to see. But I think, if let me put it to you this way, you 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 would have to be very flexible in this competition because, like Danny just pointed out, it's like pretzeling your body basically in order to keep at least as many of your body parts on those buttons as long as you can in order to win this challenge. And in the end, it was Frank who won this challenge, which, by the way, he did a very good job, which I think it's about time he won something since season 14, like he said. And he had to go back and look several times into that box, like, is this for real? He was, and he sure is. And with that, being the reigning winner of the BB Roadkill competition,
I was
Frank
muted.
has nominated Paul as a third nominee for eviction. And within that, now all that plays out now is we will have to wait until Wednesday to see who will win the power of veto.
Yep.
Okay, boys, you got the hot seat.
I like getting the whole BB Roadkill twist in there and everything, and like, I like it. I like it a lot having a third person on the block. I think I don't know what was last year we had what, 4, or was it the year before that?
Season 15, we had the MVP.
I thought we had 4 people on the block at once, at one
No.
time. Did we not?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there were with the Battle of the Block.
Yeah. Okay. Battle of the Block. So
Battle
this
of the
is
Block, I'm sorry.
kind of like Battle of the Block, but not really. You know,
Well,
it's
it's
similar, but it's different enough that it throws a whole new element into the game, and I love it.
That's what I like too. I mean, it's about time they came up with something other than bringing back a twist that was by popular demand, which I thought was stupid last season.
Yeah, I mean, it adds a whole new layer of strategy to it, because it's like, do you tell people you won? Because then you could potentially gain some allies in the house. Like, if you're up on the
Right.
block, you can cut a deal with the 2 people on the block and figure out the third person to go up to try to relieve, the pressure off you. You talk to the other guy on the block. And, then maybe you could get the whole house to swing to a third person, something like that. Or, you can throw one of your own teammates up. Why would you do that? To put the whole house in chaos. Because everybody's going to be sitting there trying to figure out. You cannot tell me that somebody's, like, we know Frank put the person on the block. We at home do. But the people in the house that have no clue, they're going nuts trying to figure out who it is. Right?
Right, but Frank is still remaining anonymous as far as it says live feeds, I believe, right? Danny, I know you follow the live feeds. Is there anything spelling out?
The biggest thing I've noticed on here is like there's certain showmances already developing.
And can you give us a hint, or you don't want to give that away? After all, this is a spoiler podcast.
Paul and Bronte.
Paul and who?
Bronte.
Paul and Bronte. A showmance? Well,
Interesting.
Beginning of romance. They're like hanging out together and cuddling and stuff.
What about Nicole and Cody? Anything coming out of that?
Cody.
Wasn't it Cody?
Corey.
Corey.
I'm sorry, Danny. Before you could say anything, I want to point something out. After the Mysteryland competition, they have landed in Mysteryland, that team, and they have to wear pixels for the remainder of the week. But I think, to answer Dom's question, I think we have another closet case in the house this season, because after they came out in the pixels, Corey was making some pretty flirtatious comments towards the guys in their pixel costumes. So that I'm seeing a Zach Rance.
Oh.
Look, that's just my opinion. Danny, have you noticed that? I mean, I think Corey is showing some gay tendencies in this house.
I don't know. It's too early for me to really figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, you're
mean,
right. It's
really, like you said, the Zach factor, sometimes people can act like really homoerotic towards another guy and be completely straight. So, who knows?
Mhm.
I never even thought of that. But other than that, though, I could care less. I mean, I think Corey's good looking. But what other showmances are you seeing blooming? Getting back to you, Danny.
What was that again?
Well, you said you saw a couple of showmances. So, besides Bronte and Paul, who else do you see potentially?
James trying to get with every female in the house.
Well,
Oh my god, when he snuck into the HOH room and was talking to Nicole while she was taking the shower, and he was pretending to be he was pretending to be Victor. How did she not know it was James? How?
James
Really?
is a good prankster.
Really,
Come on,
Nicole?
Dom, come on. But you have to know what a prankster James is. We're bound to see some pranks on him soon.
That's true.
The house guests should expect that at least, because if they've watched last season, that they should know with James, he's a prankster. He'll do anything.
Yeah.
What else is there? Are there anything else? Yes, we have the 8-Pack Alliance, which has just been formed, and I'm still trying to learn the names of everybody, so maybe you guys could give me the play-by-play of who's in the 8-Pack Alliance.
The 4 veterans. Right, and then we have Tiffany, I think. Is Tiffany in that? I'm actually not sure.
Natalie?
No.
Natalie and Zakia, I want to say.
I don't know. I can't find the 8-Pack Alliance. Nicole, Frank, Devon, James, Tiffany, what's her name?
Natalie?
Is it Natalie? I don't know. I don't know by faces yet.
It's so early, like Danny says, because we're still trying to put all the pieces together as to who's who and by their names and face.
Yeah, hold on. Big Brother 18 cast. Let me go by that. Let me go by the official site, and I'll be able to tell you.
I'm sorry. I feel so awkward.
No, that's good. Cast. It is not Natalie. Michelle. Right, we have Michelle.
Oh yeah, Michelle.
And Zakia. How do you pronounce
Zakia.
that? Zakia.
Mhm.
And Corey.
Mm-hmm. So we have our 8-Pack Alliance now, and I actually like this alliance. I think Mama Day's got a good gameplay going because this is in her game favor and her gameplay. She says, "All right, I got them right where I want them."
Well, she's the one, like, in charge right now, calling all the shots. And so she's going to be happy in this house until somebody challenges her power.
You think that's bound to happen sooner
It's
or later?
going to happen. Somebody's going to come in and disagree with her and say something she doesn't like, and she's going to flip the fuck out. Like, if I remember correctly, when they were making a secret alliance, she just started bringing the whole house into it one by one. So this 8-pack is going to start turning into the 9-pack and the 10-pack, and if they leave her, in without some kind of check, and things are going to go bad.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Wasn't that last season when Audrey did that?
Audrey did that last season.
Was it Audrey? I thought.
Audrey did that last season.
It was
they
Audrey.
had like the half of the house, and then she started pulling everybody into it.
Yeah, I thought Devon was doing that too.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
I don't know what Devon was evicted for. I can't remember what she was evicted for last season.
Running her mouth. She
Well,
couldn't stop yelling at everybody. She was so frustrated.
I think this year she kind of toned it down a little bit because this is
that
her
is true, but it's also because she's in power, and you see every time somebody tries to challenge her, like was it Frank? No, Paul. When you see Paul, like she wants Paul out of the house, like wants him out, and it's because he's telling her how to build the sandcastle, and a couple episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like because she wasn't the one in charge. She can't handle not being in charge.
Like she wants to be the big cheese.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I think we're bound to see the 8-pack alliance fall apart at some point because with Devon being in charge, you're right, Dom. Somebody is going to disagree with her, and obviously she's going to kick them off, and then how it's going to get around the house.
Yeah. And I'm curious how this is going to factor in, like, losing somebody off your team when it comes time to play a team-based game. Like, Nicole's team is going to be at a disadvantage going into team fights. Or maybe it'll turn out to be an advantage. Who knows? But it seems like it's going to be a disadvantage right now because say the next competition, the next team-based competition for head of household goes the same way the first one went, where it's an endurance competition where you got to sit on something or hold on to something. She's only going to have 3 people on her team where everybody else has, 4, or, there might be one other team with 3. But those teams hold the disadvantage now going in.
Right.
So, but I think it's interesting to find out that the head of household, their entire team, is safe from the roadkill nominations.
That's right. No, you're right.
I think that's really cool, so.
Do you think that, something? This is only, in my opinion, getting back to the BB roadkill competition every week. I think every week inside that, what do they call it?
RV?
The RV. I think every week there's going to be something different in that RV. It's not
it
gonna
has
be the
to.
same.
There's no way they could keep doing the same thing over and over because people are just going to learn how to do it faster and faster.
Right. What do you think, Danny?
I can't even hear you guys right now.
You can't what?
It's cutting in and out so bad I can't even know what you said.
What we were just saying was, every week in the BB Roadkill RV, we think it's going to be a different competition every week because Dom just pointed out, if it's the same thing every week, they're just going to learn how to do it faster and faster and faster and faster. So every week they're obviously going to have something different inside the BB Roadkill RV. So we were wondering if you were thinking the same thing.
Well, yeah, every week I bet it's gonna be some kind of like mental competition or something like when they do those things where you have to match the pictures or do something small or something quick like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be something that's confined to like a one room, kind of thing. It's not gonna be like run out of the RV, then run into the yard, then run back in. I mean, they could do that. Who the fuck knows? They might actually. That would be cool to keep it so it's not completely confined to the RV. But I also feel like it's going to be small little individual kind of puzzles rather than big scale running around kind of things. So, yeah. I think it's going to be more of a mental competition. Like, yeah, this one was physical, but it was also mental because you had to, like, how am I going to keep these buttons down? Like, what order? Yeah, it's a lot of stretching and stuff like that, but it was a very mental puzzle still.
Right. Right. I mean, it's too soon to tell right now, but eventually we are going to see that. I mean, we're going to see a lot of the similar competitions that we've been seeing. We're going to see when it comes to the Power of Veto competition, we're bound to see the elephant competition. And I know OTEV doesn't come until later, like maybe the end of
Right.
July.
Yeah, and then about the halfway mark is when we get the egg competition.
Mm-hmm. The egg competition. Last season was over the rainbow, so God only knows what they're going to have this season.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, so far I think that disagreements and backstabbings are in the works because I'm seeing a lot of disagreements, especially between the first ones I'm noticing are Paul and Davon. They are in a disagreement together.
Now, do we have the eviction next episode, or do we just have the veto ceremony?
The Power of Veto is Wednesday, and the first live eviction of the summer is Thursday.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's how it's playing out. But remember though, during the Power of Veto competition, still 3 people are still going to be going up on the chopping block. So whoever nominated Paul, well, obviously Frank nominated Paul as the 3rd nominee. But say, for example, if one of those nominees pulls off a win and wins the Power of Veto, naturally you know that they are going to save themselves and take themselves off the chopping block. So obviously the anonymous winner of the BB Roadkill competition is going to have to stand up and make that that replacement nominee or the head of household. Like, you know what I'm saying. For an example, like if one of them wins, either the HOH has to name a replacement nominee, or if, let's say, for example, if Paul were to win the Power of Veto, then obviously whoever nominated him, which was Frank is going to have to stand up and make a replacement nominee, right? So obviously the cat's going to come out of the bag.
Right.
I probably just didn't make sense, but that's my strategy when I'm thinking here what's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, who are you hoping pulls off a win? Like, the main target this week is Jose, but do you really want to see Jose go? Like, do you think he's running his mouth?
Yeah, I want to see him out.
Danny, in your opinion, do you think Jose's doing a little bit of a running mouth in the house right now?
What was that?
Well, why? Our opinion is, well, my opinion. I mean, Dom probably has a different opinion, but my opinion is Jose is kind of running his mouth, thinking he's the heart of the house when really he's not. And do you think that's why he's the target, because he's trying to make himself the Lord of Big Brother?
I don't know. I think once he leaves this week, it's going to be a better show. I said last week without even knowing the guys, like, if it was my call the first week, we just send out that particular guy,
Yeah.
And here he is being a straight up asshole.
Yeah,
and thinking he's, running the ship and everything, and it's like, dude, just leave. Really.
For me, my 3 choices would be Bronte, just because I cannot take her voice. I'm sorry, but whatever.
Helium voice.
Jose and Paul. I can't stand Paul.
Well, Paul's too obsessed with getting the veterans out right now. He's not really much into the game. He's just gaming to get the veterans out, so the newbies will have a chance. That's what he wants. He's not really even playing the game right now. It's like he's on a mission to get rid of all the newbies one after the other.
Yep.
If Paul won the Power of Veto, would Nicole nominate somebody, or would Frank?
Frank. That's what we were saying. I think Frank would have to, because he nominated him.
I think if Nicole's person gets taken off, Nicole picks it. I think if the roadkill person gets picked off, the roadkill person replaces it. If not, it may just default to the head of household. I don't know.
But we'll find out on Wednesday. That's all we'll know. Is there anything else that we need to cover tonight?
No, I think that's about it, but I do like the fact that all the competitions we've seen so far are pretty different than everything we've seen. You know, I'm sick of the same competitions over and over again. Some of them, the classics, you know, we mentioned the OTEB, the egg, stuff like that. I don't mind seeing those, but some of these new ones, I like them. I like them a lot.
I think they're good for a change because every season has to have a change. That's what I think.
Yep.
Danny, do you have anything you want to add?
No, Danny's having some internet problems anyway, so.
Yeah.
Skype issues, or I think it's Skype, but you know, we'll try to figure it out after. But yeah.
Don't feel bad. I was having issues with Skype too, especially after the software update. But do you wanna say we pretty much covered everything, Dom, in your opinion, or do you add a little bit more? Because I think we've covered everything for the whole week.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered it.
Okay, well, in that case, I will conclude by saying, get 24-hour live coverage from inside the Big Brother house. Go to cbs.com/bb18 and try it for free.
Excellent.
And, once again, who will win the power of veto, and will it be used to save either Paul, Paulie, or Jose from eviction? It all happens Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on Big Brother. So, Dom, where can the people find you?
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Danny? Where can the people find you? Okay, they could find you there. You can find me on Twitter as well at Zupa23. So, until next time, from outside the Big Brother house, I am Luke, this is Dom, and this is Danny, and we are the Big Brother Historian team. Good night.